Well, some of Ukraine's neighbours are worried about further territorial ambition. There have been military training exercises today in Transnistria, a breakaway region of Moldova, which has a largely Russian-speaking population. NATO's top military commander said he was worried that Russia might have its eye on Transnistria, which borders western Ukraine. Romania, which has a long land border with Ukraine, has been calling for a tougher response from the West. Its foreign minister, Titus Kolatsian, told me what he wanted today's talks to achieve.
It will be extremely important to maintain the same very coherent, united Euro-Atlantic position when discussing with Russia after those very fundamental violations of the international law committed through the military action of Russia in Ukraine.
And it's the view of the President of Romania that NATO should reposition its resources in the wake of the military operations by Moscow.
I think what is important right now is to see if Russia understood our message, understood the fact that this self-isolation policy that Russia promoted in the past weeks will generate really negative consequences for Russia. But in any case, I think we have to be prepared also for increasing the NATO military presence.
And the head of NATO has said that he's very worried about the Russian force at the Ukrainian border to the east of Ukraine.
He's right, and I think Sakir mentioned also specifically the situation in Transnistria, in the Republic of Moldova, a region which is controlled by the Russian troops. It's not only his position, we are also extremely concerned in Bucharest, in Romania, about possible risks and challenges, because what happened in Crimea generated a huge risk related to a ring of protracted conflicts.
And there have been military training exercises there by Russia today.
Yes, indeed, some military exercises took place in the past days. The Russian troops were very active.
Transnistria, population of 500,000, these are ethnic Russian people, and they've asked to become part of the Russian Federation. Would that really be so problematic?
It will be a new concrete example of violating the international law. And by the way, Russia assumed the commitment, the obligation in 1999 during the OSCE summit in Istanbul to withdraw the Russian troops from the Republic of Moldova, which several times asked that the foreign troops should leave this country.
When we look at the motivation for recent actions by Russia, what do you think lies behind this? President Obama had said that Russia is threatening some of its immediate neighbours not out of strength, but out of weakness.
Honestly speaking, there are a lot of people on our Western world hoping with honesty that it can be a reset of the relations with Russia, engaging Russia through common interests, politically speaking, economically speaking, in fighting, combating the international terrorism, etc. But in the end, it was proved that the foundation of the philosophy of the political and military establishment in Moscow didn't change fundamentally. Paradoxically, one of the conclusions coming from these dramatic events that took place in Ukraine is related to our internal life within the EU. It was once again a very concrete proof that a strong and a united Europe, a united European Union, when serious challenges, serious risks on the security level are happening to our border, is the right answer that we can give. This is why, and this is really relevant and pertinent for different political domestic debates in the EU member states before the European elections.
And given that one of the very big issues coming up in the European elections in the UK and elsewhere is that of immigration, and it's now been 3 months since there was, since Romanians were able to come and work in the UK without restriction. From your perspective, how many people do you think have come over here? What do you think is happening in that situation?
Just a very few Romanians after 1st of January came in UK, for instance, contrary to what in a very populistic and xenophobic manner was presented by some of the politicians in UK. I make the reference directly to UKIP. It didn't happen, and it will not happen. We explained several times from Bucharest why. It was used for political purposes. It is used for political purposes.
The Foreign Minister of Romania, Titus Corlațian.